Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to come on here like I normally do Wednesday mornings at around 9 o'clock. I'm a few minutes early, but I wanted to come on here and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today. A lot of people have like these content calendars that they're going to actually deliver to their audience, and those always make me feel so stifled because when structure is involved, sometimes hi there, I lose my creativity. I don't know if you're like that, but it is nice to have some structure because that is our masculine keeping us, contained. So within the structure, we can be super creative. But something happened last night when I was teaching my advanced practice group, and we were going over, some things that, as my husband likes to say, I don't give myself enough credit of like how much I've learned through the years. And what I mean by that is what's basic for me is actually not going to be basic to somebody else. And there's no judgment in that. And I think about my journey into this masculine, feminine embodiment world. What exactly does that mean? And so one of the things that I was sharing last night is, we really take a journey, and you've heard me talk about this a bit, into your little girl. What exactly does that mean? And so I realized that, when I talk about going out and playing or finding your pleasure, a lot of people think that that's talking about your erotic pleasure. And quite frankly, that's you to first get in touch with the eroticism, you have to be able to understand play. And so there's a process in that. And we covered this in my curriculum and 101 and the Sisterhood, where we're going to actually really tease apart maybe why you're detached from her. Now, you may think, well, I play with my kids, I play with my grandkids. What do you mean that I don't know how to play? And it's really specific. I mean, there is such a thing as play therapy. And I'm not a therapist, so I won't call it therapy. But what I will say is that, when is the last time that you allowed yourself to roll down a hill? And get grass stains, on your clothes? When's the last time that you allowed yourself to blow bubbles? When's the last time that you walked through the grocery store, the doors open, and you're like, "Hello, I'm here." It sounds silly, but if you're locked in this pattern of rigidity, or your relationship may seem passionless, or you just feel that masculine burden. And I'm going to sidestep for a second masculine burden. My husband's traveling right now, and our assistant is gone this week, and so I'm handling a lot of things that I normally don't handle. And I know some of you are like, "Well, boo hoo." So I'm not asking for sympathy, but what I am saying is that I'm realizing, yeah, I'm feeling burden. And it doesn't mean that I don't love what I do. It doesn't mean that I don't love being home. It doesn't mean I don't love, being a homemaker. It doesn't mean that I don't love my clients. It doesn't mean I don't love my programs. But there's something that happens when you're feeling so burdened with all the responsibilities. And let's face it, I was a single mom for a long time, paying all the bills. And, it's stressful. So this is not just for single moms. This is actually for any of you who might be out and about, taking care of it all. But that burden that we feel, that a lot of times will make a woman feel guilty because they feel like they need to be doing it all, is actually the masculine's way, energy of saying, you know what, let's kind of take a step back and do something nurturing for your masculine. And nurturing to the masculine is going to be stillness, quiet, right? And so this is also why with women, what I share is that when you're transitioning from work mode or homework mode, or whatever that is, when there has to be structure, there has to be somebody in charge, and then you want to go into flow, there has to be some type of transition. We talk about, John Gray talked about this, and men are from Mars, women are for Venus, that men have their man cave. Well, quite frankly, now these days, and one reason why I love the teachers that I've learned from is that we really acknowledge how much women can do, and how much we do, and that more and more with every day there's more equality between men and women, and so there's more and more men that are staying home. and taking care of the children. Of course, there's a lot of dual income, households as well. So that's what I really love some of the teachers that I've learned from, is because it's not this patriarchal way to study what submission is, even, right? Again, we have agency over our body and who we want to submit leadership to, ladies. So we don't have to be so rigid also, and with our rights. Even with our bodies so much. It's like we have agency over who we give ourselves to, unless, of course, there's something of force, and that's a whole nother conversation, right? So back to what I was going to talk about is, the aha is the little things like that. Like, for example, me feeling burden. And what did I do in the middle of the day when I started feeling that burden? In the past, before I, understood this work and was very practiced, I mean, I don't know. I would have maybe complained or bitched or worked harder. If I work harder, I'll be able to get more done, and then I'll relax and have pleasure later, right? And we all know that then you're living for the weekend or you're living for a vacation. What I invite all the women that work with me is to bring in pleasure even in their everyday moments. And that may sound really difficult when you're like, I have 4 kids, I'm homeschooling, or, I'm running this huge company, I'm planning a takeover, I'm writing this program. And, I have to say, this week has been one of those weeks that we're in the middle of, filling up our sisterhood, which, by the way, there are a few spots left. Some of you may have received an email that we were closing out, and we have closed out a portion of it. But I actually asked. I mean, I really like leaned in. I was like, I really want to bring some more people in. Again, it's like planning the perfect dinner party, and so I like bringing in different flavors, and that's another reason why I interview people and they interview me, because not everybody's ready for that deeper deep dive that we like to do, because it is deep and it is fun, and you were going to learn so much. So last night when we were on this call and with these advanced gals that have been working with me, some of them for over a year now, or longer actually, now that they're really starting to get in their body what it feels like to experience joy, what can we do to actually embody and anchor it in? And so I was giving them some things to do. And for many of them, it actually was like, I never thought about that. Or, well, how do I do that? And I can remember there was a time the same. I would have thought that a feminine practice was I had to dance and to actually get in the feminine, or I had to wear a bathing suit, right? And drink a drink with an umbrella in it, for example, which basically is just putting on the feminine. And so many people, are actually, they think the feminine is, wearing long earrings, or wearing lipstick, or walking a certain way. And that may actually invoke something fun. It may feel pleasurable to you, and that's fine. But I'm really talking about what's happening from the inside out. There is a big difference between being happy, which is basically based on your situation, and then also being joyful. And so, I really love that. I like to teach women how they can actually bring joy into their life at any moment. You can anchor that in. And so that's what I'm inviting for you to do today, is that, where is your joy? Where are you able to bring in more play? Do you even know what that means? And, what is this thing I'm calling masculine burden? And what can I do to shift myself out of that? I'd love to talk to you about that. So I linked a quick call link here, and I would love to chat with you. Um, for all of you that are watching this in the society, I want to say thank you for bringing in your friends. It has been incredible, the responses that we've had. So I love that you're all here, and use this free platform as a way for you to be able to, nurture yourself with some topics. And then once a week I come in here and then I'm going to coach. So take advantage of that. And if you start being called to maybe do a deeper inquiry, then let's do that. And I am excited that you're here. So again, what's an aha to me? What may actually be an aha to you right now. Again, like I was sharing with a new client yesterday, is that when I first encountered the embodiment of the feminine, I was actually quite scared of her. I didn't, it wasn't that my mother raised me not to actually love myself or love my body or love being a woman. I was just so detached because I was in such a survival mode of, striving for success, striving for financial security, to create some things that I didn't quite have as a child. And so my subconscious mind was around, if I will achieve these things and have these things, then therefore I will be safe and then I'll be happy. And all of that is actually just BS. And so you're operating on the limbic system here. So I know many of you have heard me talk about this before, but it's always great to hear a reminder. Remember, repetition is the mother of skill. And so, I go back and listen to old recordings of my teachers all the time, and it never gets old. I am truly a student to this work. And so I just wanted to share that today. And I hope all of you had a great Mother's Day, that are mothers, and for all of you that aren't mothers as well, for whatever reason, whether God hasn't given that to you yet, or it's not your time, or you decided that you don't want that in your life, but you're a mother to so many other people, I'm imagining, then, what a nurturing space to be, that whether you decide to go that way or not, that we are givers of life. And that is the essence of the feminine, that we are vibrancy, we are life, and we are energy. The feminine is all about energy. And so I hope for all of you today, as you're carrying on with yourself, out there in the world, that you are bringing some vibrancy, bringing some of that light, and really actually igniting it from the inside out. So I do hope I get to talk to some of you. I'd love to invite some of you in, to this more of an incubator, I like to call it, in the Sisterhood, and where we do really go there. And I would love to get to know you in that space. So you guys have a great day, and I cannot wait to talk to you soon. And continue to invite your friends in. It's so incredible that that so much more, many more women are starting to understand this space. So we'll talk to you soon.